Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Tariq again from the whiteboard, and today we're gonna start the fourth section in Codility, which is, as you can see, it's the counting elements. So this section is interesting. As I said before, we're gonna face more and more as we go, it's gonna get harder, with time and with the more questions you solve. So this section has four questions. Two of them, they're easy, like the easy questions. I believe so far we didn't really face any medium or hard questions. So the first two, they're gonna be easy. The third and the fourth, they're gonna be, what is it? Respectable. So I guess we're gonna face some challenge here, or challenges, let's say. So we're gonna start with the first one, which is the PermCheck, and we're gonna see what we need to do. So, yep. Let's go there. And we're gonna skip it 2 hours. Yeah. I really wish that we have like 2 hours in a real life coding interview. Anyway, so let's start with this. So a non-empty array of A consisting of n integers is given. Cool. A permutation is a sequence containing each element from 1 to n. Once and only once. All right. So I guess this sentence is the most important sentence in the world right now. It's like it has a lot of depth. Anyway, so array A. So we have the array. All right. So before I continue, I try to take it step by step. So let's take the first thing. Let's take this here. Cool. And the return, I don't know, the return type is gonna be 1 or 0. So I'm gonna be like echo solution. I don't know why I do this first, but it makes me more comfortable with the solution itself. So we're gonna be accepting an array which is 4, 1, 3, 2. That's 4, 1, 3, and 2. Cool. So let's go back to the question. So we can say it's so here we have the definition. So a permutation is a sequence containing each element from 1 to n. So technically we have some sort of sorting here, right? And the other condition, like every item should be appeared, or like should be, yeah, appeared once in the array. So this one here is a permutation, they're telling us. But array A is such that 4, 1, 2 is not permutation because value 2 is missing. Fair enough. Cool. The goal is to check whether array A is a permutation or not. Okay, write a function that giving an array A returns 1 if array A is permutation and 0 if it's not. Cool. For example, so this is the first one, the same one. Should return 1, and the false one should return 0. And right here we have our checks, the regular checks that we do usually. Okay, so here, since we are dealing with a sequential array, so we have a numeric and sequential array. Giving this example, they didn't really sort it, so they can give us an array in any shape, like it's not sorted ascending or descending. So what we need to do, the first step is to sort the array. So before I do anything to the array, so the first thing to do here, to do checks so we don't forget about them. And then, because it's an array, I'm gonna check if it's empty. I'm gonna just return 0 if it's false, right? Cool. Now let's come here. What I do usually is length. It's gonna be count of A. That's the length, right? Now we need to sort it. Now you don't, I'm sure like whatever the language you're using, you don't have to build your own sort. Most of the native functions in any programming language, they use Quicksort, right? And in PHP, it's the same case. It's gonna be the Quicksort. So unless you wanna like showcase your skills, you can build your own sorting algorithm. It's up to you. For me, I'm gonna use this. Okay, so after we sort it, let's print it out and check our array. Check our array. I'm not gonna echo anything after that, and this is lesson 5. All right, here we go. Cool. So I passed 4132, and we got 1234. Okay. Now we need, of course, to loop through them, but I'm thinking, how can we check? How can we check? Okay, so the first time, or the first thing that I can check is if I equal 1 and I less or equal than the length, and then I plus plus. I want to check. So, okay, so what am I trying to do is, so we have our counter, which is I, right? It's going to start from 1. Since the condition is, let me write it here. So our formula is going to be from 1 to n, right? So if my counter started from 1 here, my counter started from 1. And then I was comparing every item, let's say item not equal I. So in other words, what I'm saying is if the item is 1 here and the counter is 1, then pass, right? Let's say we move to the next one. Yeah, let's say 2 and 2. Because it's sorted and it's going to start from 1. It makes sense, but I feel like we're going to have a lot of manipulation when it comes to the I. So I'm going to keep it 0 and I'm going to introduce another variable here and I'm going to call it J, all right? And J is going to, no, J plus plus, and J is going to equal 1. So this way we separate our counter from the, let's say, actual, I don't know, temp value you want to call it or something. Maybe check you can call it, whatever. So what am I gonna do here? So we're gonna loop through them. So okay, let me do this. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. The false case was 413. 4 and 4 and 1 and 3, right? Okay, so if I got this, this will be 1, 3, and 4. So I can say if J not equal array A of I, right? Because it's sorted, we're gonna start from 1 and J is 1. If it's not equal your sorted value, then return 0, right? Cool. After that, after everything, if we loop through them all, then we don't have any false. Then we're gonna return 1, right? Cool. But now they mentioned that here, this sentence, they mentioned that each element from 1 to n once, like containing each one, and only once. So we need to check if we actually passed this number or processed this number before. And to do that, you can introduce another array. You can introduce another array, let's say. Yeah, but if, okay, so if I introduced, whatever, okay, for now, let me call it X. If I introduce this array, and this array, so if I introduce this array, and in our success, I'm gonna insert the I. And I need to add this condition here, right? If not, what is that? If not an array. But this is, no, like here we have O to N, and we have still here again. Like, I guess for this section, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be something like O to N multiplied by M, something like that, right? Because in array, we're actually still checking through a different array. We're going to loop, like, we're not using any random access. So, but I still want to check for the uniqueness, let's say. So, okay, so instead of an array, let me introduce, let me introduce a variable called, what can we call it? I don't know, temp check, or temp number, I don't know, 0. Okay, so let's assume this, all right? And whenever I pass, I'm gonna, okay, cool. So whenever I pass, I'm gonna update the value of that number here. And here I'm gonna say, if you are the same as the I, if you are the same as the I, or you are not meeting your mirror value. So two conditions. The first one, if you are missing in the mirror. So what is the mirror? The mirror is the J, which is the counter, the additional counter that is going to start from 1. Since we have a sorted array, we're going to always start from 1. If we don't have a 1 either way, then the array is not, we don't have a permutation, right? So I'm checking, do you have your mirror? If you don't have your mirror, it's a false. Or if the temp check, which is the one we passed, right? The one we passed in our success condition is the same as the current array item. So if you meet one of these, you're gonna return 0. Otherwise, we're gonna just update the temp check. I don't really like temp check. It's really confusing. Temp number, I don't know. Temp, yeah, let's make it's still confusing, but like, I don't know, still better. If we loop through it successfully, then we're gonna return 1. Cool. Cool. So we still have our checks. Anything here? Nope. Cool. All right, let's start with this one, lesson 5. So this one is a success, as they said, and the false one is gonna be missing this one, right? Cool. What about an empty one? As we said, you need to always come up with your own. You don't need any surprises when it comes to the tests, because after you submit, that's it. So empty array, we passed. But now we need to check the duplicate value. So let's say we have 2, which is the first one. This is a success one. And let's repeat the 4 once again. We're gonna get 0. If we remove 4, which is the same as the first one, we should have 1. Okay. I guess this is correct for now, but we still need to continue the question and read. So this is so important. We must, okay. So, okay, let's come here. N is an integer, which is the length from 1 to 100,000. Cool. So before, yeah, before I sort it, I'm gonna go here. If length is less than 1 or length is more than 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? We're gonna return 0. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So if you are less than a 1 or more than this one, cool. And the same thing, but for each element, it's gonna be from 1 to this really, really big number, huge number. Okay, I don't know, a billion or something like that. So this is our first check. It's not gonna matter, to be honest, which one is first, like, because either way, you're gonna go through them. Okay, come here. So I'm gonna say if if the current item is less than 1, or the current item is more than this number, and I believe, as always, we have is an integer. See? And this one is an integer. Well, technically, this one is going to always be an integer, so it's fine. We don't need to say if is integer or however you want to check the data type. So we can say here, so it's a defense, so we're going to say if is integer, right? Or you return 0. Okay, so let's go through it one more time. So if you are empty, we're going to return 0. We get the count normally, and we check the length if it's less or equal than. And then we sort it because it's sequential, as they mentioned. We introduced our additional, what is it called, counter. You still can do it with the help of the I, which is the main one, but personally, I don't like to complicate it, like, because it's gonna be confusing if you have like any additional test later on inside the loop. And the temp number, okay, and then we started the loop, cool. We're checking if you meet your mirror. We already explained that. If you don't meet it, then you are missing, then it's a 0. Or if the number is already there. How do we know that? After a success, we update the value of that number. Here is our condition. If you are not an integer, or you are less than 1, or if you are more than blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, return 1, right? Right. Cool. I guess this one is, it looks complicated, but it's not. So let's take it here. Let's take me here as usual. Cool. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. It looks kinda nice. So let's run the test. Okay, so we passed the initial test. We already passed them in our code, so we're good to go. Let's submit. Okay. All right. So we scored 100, which is expected, to be honest. And this is, okay, we broke the record. 18 minutes. This is the fastest time that we solve a problem. Okay, so we actually, wow, okay, we actually tested, got tested by the performance. Okay, so correctness is 100% correct, 18 minutes. Question, what is the complexity for it? Cool. So ON or N log N. And here is your, you can see the samples, how they got tested. The more you look at them, the more you can prepare yourself for future examples. Like, like, how am I doing here? Just like checking for empty, checking for the false conditions. Um, so whenever you have the opportunity to look at these examples, just do it. Just go through them. They're going to be helpful. And I guess it's really straightforward, this one. So I guess that's it for this question, the perm check. As I said, we're gonna try to solve all the questions in this section, which is the fourth one. After the second question, they're gonna start to get harder and harder. And I really can't wait to solve the medium or hard questions. I guess that's where we're gonna start using some tricky techniques. That's it for now. Thank you for watching and enjoy your day. See ya.